Good evening. It is 6:02 p.m. on Thursday, September 4th, 2025. Call this meeting of the Wichita County Commissioners Court to order. This is our public hearing to discuss and receive comments on the proposed 2026 budget and tax rate. I do appreciate, of course, all the commissioners being here. Didn't really have much of a choice, but still thank y'all for being here. We've also got representatives. We've got Sheriff Rutledge. We've got our auditor. We've got folks from the Tax Assessor Collector's Office here. Security, thank y'all for being here. I want to thank y'all for coming. For the public who is watching, I do want to say that this is ultimately the taxpayer's budget, and so that is why we have this public hearing to make that opportunity available for the public to come and have their voices heard.
I would like to say there's not one person here from the public, just if anybody's going to listen to this, I would like to point that out, that I would have loved them to be here, but
Absolutely.
there's nobody here.
So this is the penultimate step of the process that began in April. We've got one more step after this, which will be the actual adoption of the tax rate and budget in Tuesday's Commissioners Court. Had there been any members of the public here, I would have done a more thorough layout here, but since everyone in the room has already heard me do this once and it's already been broadcast once, I'll do the shorter version just for anyone who is finding us for the first time. This proposed budget is an $84.7 million budget across all funds. That is a reduction of 1.6% from last year. Budget's broken out into four main buckets: the general fund, debt, special revenue funds, which includes road and bridge precincts, and grants. The main form of discretionary income we have is the general fund. That budget is $66.9 million, which is up 5.4% from last year. This budget has a proposed tax rate of $0.521303 per $100. That's 52 and some odd cents per $100 evaluation. That is a reduction in the rate from last year's 0.523894. But as everyone here understands, rising values across the county mean that even though that is a rate decrease, average taxes will increase as part of this budget. Where we are overall in with this proposed 2026 budget continues something that long predates my term in office, and which the court should be proud of, which is continued fiscal stability. We are in great shape from a fund balance standpoint, which means we can handle any unforeseen punches that the economy, worldwide pandemics, whatever might throw at us, while not being so overfunded and fund balanced that we've taken taxpayer money without using it. Since I want to do a little bit of a shorter layout, I thought one way to do it that might be interesting for the public, for the press who might be covering it, and for us was to do 6 numbers that kind of tell the story of this budget. And the first is 45%, and that is the percentage of the general fund that's going to public safety expenditures. So nearly half of what we spend on a discretionary level is going towards the sheriff's office, jail, juvenile probation and detention, adult probation and detention, and our constables.
And Judge, how does that, what is the secondary number if debt service is only contributed to that too? If that was to add to that number from an overall perspective, what would it change that percentage to?
I'm not following you.
So M&O, you utilize 45% to do it, but you also take that INS rate.
INS is
Because
completely to them.
it's all law enforcement. all of our debt, all of
all our
our debt.
debt.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
How much would it be? What would that change the percentage to roughly? Because that's
That's going to be another 6%.
It'd be over 50.
Yeah, it'd be over half of,
Probably 52 to 53%.
yeah,
okay.
over half of the revenue that's being raised in taxes is going towards public
Okay.
safety. Thought that was a key number for folks to know
Sure.
what we're doing. Second number is $5.1 million, and that is the amount that we project to spend on employee premiums for health insurance. It's a lot of money, and I think it's important for our employees to know that, and the public to know that, to understand that you throw that onto that is part of a compensation package. And so this is the third year in a row where we are looking at a flat increase in premiums, assuming we continue on with our TAC fully insured plan. But that was a number that I thought was important to highlight, because it's not small. The third number that really affects the gentleman on this dais is 390.61, which is the total number of road miles maintained by Road and Bridge precinct crews. And as we have done previously, the budget breaks down a portion of general fund to help pay for that maintenance based on a mileage formula. And then, of course, we have our special road and bridge tax, which is set aside exclusively for the maintenance of road and bridge. Fourth number is $1.34 million, which is the amount that this budget projects to spend on software licenses, cybersecurity protection, and computer hardware. That number's up about 50% from where it was even 3
Wow.
years ago.
Yeah.
And it's not slowing down, as we all know. And all of this really is before AI has kicked into gear and how that's going to affect our operations. So something I thought that y'all would find interesting and that the public might as well. Just two more. The fifth one's $3.4 million, which is the amount of money that we've projected for permanent improvement projects in 2026. That's in line with where we've gone the last couple of years, but it won't be ARPA money funding that anymore beyond next year, and mostly not out of that one. And the final number, which is the one most people will care about, is $13. And that is the amount that county taxes are increasing per $100,000 of value on your home over the no new revenue rate. That's the real number, I think, for the average person, because even though the rate's going down, the average person's values are going to go up. And so what you're seeing is $13 per 100,000 that's going to help pay for all of these services that county government provides. That's what the increase is.
So in the median price house, that equates to what per year?
Less than 30.
It's 20,
20-something dollars.
I've got it, hold on.
Probably 22 to 23.
What is the median?
It's $24. That's what it is.
$24.
It's about $24. Because the median value is a little over $187,000. And so,
For the average homeowner, so it's less than $25 a year.
yeah, as an increase over what they paid in
Oh.
2025.
Right.
All right, that's my very brief layout, but thought those were some interesting numbers that the public would care about and that y'all might like. With that said, I'll turn it over to y'all to make comments. And
Judge, I've got a question on the health insurance, just so I see it in my mind as a percentage. It is 5 million divided by 66 million, right? Not 84 million.
The
To
bottom for
find the
health insurance?
percent, to find the percent of cost for the county.
Yeah, since we're paying for all of our health insurance out of general fund revenue, that would
It'd be
correct.
66.
Yep.
So about 7%.
On health
Wow.
insurance premiums.
Wow.
And if you throw the jail medical contract in there, which is about the same number.
Same number.
Now, of course, that was
It
figured
was
in,
already into the
right.
50% that,
And what people don't realize is the county is not exempt from insurance cost inflation like just they are. I
Sure.
mean, the general public, I know my insurance costs across the board, houses, homes, vehicles, businesses, they've all skyrocketed.
Well, and so I have those numbers too. I thought that might, so our property insurance is going up from $425,000 in last year to $485
Well,
this coming year, which is in line with the trends that everybody's seeing
Yeah.
in property insurance.
Yep.
And our liability insurance is still unsure, but as a projection, we went up to $350,000 to cover us for liability.
as Barry well knows, is also pre-COVID motor grader, something that we use a bunch of. $275,000 today is bumping $400,000.
well, and our rock and oil prices have done the same thing, so,
The same thing, just
Oil has
steadily
tripled
yeah,
in
in
triple.
the past.
Guys, we're in the same shape that every business in Wichita County is in as much as the inflation rate has stabilized and gone down. But it's set input costs, all these things at a much higher level, and that's the new norm. And even though we're not seeing in the news, all the inflation rate is double digits and it's going up, but it's settled at such a higher plateau that all these costs are just extremely inflated. Thank goodness it's not going higher, but it doesn't give us any protection from where we've landed. And you know, the other interesting thing about this budget is as we get this one going, this is not just a single year deal. We're already looking ahead to next year and what's, you know, where we're headed. What are the trends? Trends are very important in this stuff.
And, you know, the money, the permanent improvement monies that it's only fair to extrapolate that across a longer period of time, because for so long we didn't do what was needed to be done, and we've now, and most people have to float a bond in order to do that. Thank goodness we don't have to, and we can pace ourselves and
I'll say this, when I came on the court, there was a $130 million proposal to build the jail across the street. We built it for all told 72 million,
yeah.
but that was 70 million in bond. And then look at what we've done besides
Yeah.
that, and we're nowhere approaching 130 million,
No.
not
And-
even close.
And Mark, we know peer counties that are relatively the same size that have tried to do the same thing. We have administrative offices and our complete staff out there, and they only have a jail for the same kind of
Or
money.
more money.
Yeah, for more
Way
money.
more money.
Look at
So-
Tom Green.
Yeah.
We just
Yeah.
talked to him the other day, as a
Yeah.
matter of fact.
And, yeah, we've been good stewards of the funds we've
Yeah.
had.
And one thing and Barry, you always bring this up, and the only debt that we have now at this point as a county is voter-approved debt for the law enforcement center.
Which is very unusual.
That's very unusual with our
Very
peer
unusual.
counties. I would like to say that earlier this week, City of Wichita Falls set their tax rate, and they got some news reports that were kind of confusing. They were very confusing, that they lowered their tax rate and lowered taxes. They did lower their tax rate to a 10-year low, so have we. If we approve this on Tuesday, we'll set a 10-year low on our tax rate. We're actually raising our taxes less than the City of Wichita Falls is. So we are raising taxes with the new rate, but it's actually less than they did.
And that's why I wanted to make sure I just laid that out, because, I mean, that's important for
Well,
taxpayers to understand.
Yeah, and
And-
it's easily misconstrued when you lower rate, and I don't want anyone to misunderstand. If we lower the rate to what's proposed right now,
And
it's
one
still
of,
an increase. but-
one of the major factors, and not always is in any budget, payroll is a large portion of what the county expends in dollars. But Will, for example, if he didn't, and he spent a lot of time from early last year throughout the first of the year putting together a pay plan, but it was a sucking sound going on. And you can't blame good men that have been with them 20 years taking a job for $20,000 more down the street.
No.
It's just a no-brainer from that. And unless we step up and keep a competitive pay salary, there's no way we can hang on to good people.
Sure. And like Judge Johnson said in one of our earlier hearings, we've made a lot of salary adjustments just to reach the bottom. We're at the bottom now. Now, with all the adjustments that we made, we're still at the bottom of our peers. So, but luckily, there looks like some great things happening on the horizon that we should be able to capitalize on over the next coming few years.
Yeah. Growth helps,
Growth helps a lot.
growth helps float a lot of, that's not on the burden of the same taxpayers.
Nearly everybody in this room is part of the county family. I think, well, everybody is.
Yeah.
How many people in this room pay property taxes when we start?
Every single one.
Yeah, everybody,
Yeah.
yeah. And my point in that is, we do understand, we get it, yeah, we get that little note from, Mr. Smythe here before too long in the mail.
But
Well, it seems like I've been getting a big old stack of them, I don't know what that's about, but,
But
But what-
we do have positive things, and to build a stronger tax base is what we're all about, and we want to, and we assist and help in that endeavor all the time. I've been excited and been watching. I go a lot of times Loop 11 to Atwoods from here when I go home, and Westlake has a tremendous project
they
going
run
on
some
out there.
concrete.
They have,
Which is-
they are going to have a tremendous facility when that is complete. And those are abatements that's flowed through here, minimal abatements, I might add, that are been conservative, yet they're been able to work with both the company and the county on reaching an agreement. So that's going to do nothing but benefit
yeah,
us.
building an established company even further.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
That's-
Mark.
That's excellent.
It's easy to get lost because of just what county government does. Most people don't see it, but believe me, you would see it quickly if we stopped funding a jail and we stopped funding a sheriff's office. We stopped funding a tax assessor collector office and elections and courts and vital records and land records. It's
But
this,
we can't stop funding those.
No, it's
And what
mandated.
people don't understand is we can't stop funding them. It's
It's-
not allowed.
that's what I'm just,
And-
I'm saying that they're not things that, they're not direct
They're-
services that
they're-
most people.
There are very few
see.
things by the county that if we had to, we could stop funding to save money. So we run they're pretty lean. The county's job is to really take care of what is mandatory required by our government. So,
Even some of the pay raises we had to deal with this year were
Mhm.
mandated from the state legislature.
Yeah.
Well, county government, in all practical purposes, is pretty much the application arm of state government. That's really what we do. They make the laws and we apply them, basically. That's what Will does every day, and it's what the rest of us do every day. We take care of the things they tell us
Yeah.
need to be done.
Any other?
Judge,
comments?
I'd just like to add, I mean, you spent a tremendous amount of time. You
You
went
did.
through piece by piece, and generally, we had good knowledge of what those changes were. You'd struggle with the dilemma, and we would work through that, and I just think you did an excellent job laying it out. I think the budget is well.
Matt and his crew as well.
yeah.
Yes, being a
it's very
big
nice to
part
have
of
an
that,
auditor's office.
Mike and Matt, I know were strong in there as well, but we appreciate all that work that went into building it and putting it together and giving us the format that we've got today.
Thank you.
So,
It's easy to follow, it's logical,
Yeah.
it really is
Yeah.
And it'll only get better next year.
There's plenty of reading material in the new budget.
Yes, there is.
I like to add,
yeah.
So 300 and some odd miles of paved road in the county, there's just a handful of roads in the county that is not paved.
that's true.
Big for the citizens, but it's big for the sheriff's department too, because those $100,000 cars would get tore up.
I think I got most of the dirt roads, so.
And Will, we're gradually trying to pick the rest of those roads off a little bit at a
Just like
time.
a handful in the
Yeah.
county that's not paved.
Yeah.
We whittle on it a little every year, and, just trying to, cause,
That's a big plus for us as well.
Yeah, most,
The money we save on repair bills, and it's already high enough.
most of what's not paved is literally ranch and oil field roads, so.
Yeah.
There's very little that's has any residential on it that's not.
I
paved.
drove one of my remaining gravel roads out today, and we're getting it on the list for next year. We're trying to pick them off as we can and whittle them down, and you gotta go back and redo maintenance on the old ones, so you don't get them as quick as you want, but we try to keep a list and shrink that deal down.
We have, discussed, adding additional ones, or maybe we can, but we're down to the point where we're rebuilding one today that's washed out. Drain ditch has taken out a lot of the road, and we're having to haul from Iowa Park to Electra to carry the material or dirt needed to rebuild the road because the water took it out. If that was a chip sealed road, it would just be that much more expensive to put back into place. So thank goodness, like you say, that we have as many as what we have, because other counties aren't as lucky.
No, they're not.
Will, just in your opinion, you've been watching this for a while, what's the percentage of increase in traffic on our rural roads in Wichita County over the last 5 years?
The number of houses that have gone up in the county is, I don't
Traffic
know the
is-
exact numbers, but it's skyrocketing.
Skyrocketing,
And we answer more and more calls in the county
yeah.
because of that. It's more of a policing force.
Well,
A lot of times we talk about the population of Wichita Falls has been fairly, well, I hate to use the word stagnant, that doesn't sound right, but just steady. And yet you get out in the county and it's grown tremendously. There's places out there where houses are built now that weren't there 5 years ago.
Well,
10 years ago.
Barry was, have a tree project going on Huntington Lane, and I went by there today to look at them, and noticed 4 new houses
Yeah.
on Huntington Lane, and it's not a big road. I mean, and there's just more increased traffic that.
Well, I will say this, coming back from Austin last week, it's always busy on 35 between Hillsborough and Fort Worth. It was just as busy from Fort Worth to Wichita Falls.
It is, you're
Yeah.
right,
It was
yeah.
as many semis, so,
Some of the reports we've talked about in the wait station meetings is the 287 traffic is similar to the I-20 traffic west of, towards Midland. It's just
Yep.
that much traffic up and down 287.
There was
it
a
needs to be
time
an
when
interstate.
you could drive from Iowa Park to Wichita Falls on 287 and see, 3, 4, 5 vehicles. And now, I challenge you to get on the on-ramp and not have to yield to somebody. I mean, it's.
Try to get on the exit ramp in Fort Worth coming,
Yeah. You better know which lane to be in, that's for sure. Anyway, but there's a lot of things going on. One of the things that we tried to do, and we talked about building tax base. And you get that when you have growth. And one of the things that we tried to do when we were awarded that ARPA money was invest a good bit of it in some things that would build value, build tax base. And we're gonna begin to see the fruits of that over the next few years, and I think it's
Yep.
gonna be significant. It's gonna be significant.
Anyone have a comment or question, member of the public?
I would like to add to Barry's comment. So the Wichita County received $25.6 million in ARPA funds, and Wichita County sent back 20 cents to the U.S. Treasury.
Well, Matt, we talked about the fact that we're gonna get to help pay that back. We
That's
might, we
right.
better put it to
That's
good
right.
use, and that's what we tried to do. But that's kind of a tribute to, I think, everybody in the county family that worked hard to use that wisely and get it placed in good places, and I think we did that.
And to your point, Barry, and the one that Jeff made earlier, It was mostly used for building out a way that's gonna cause, revenues and dividends down
Absolutely.
the road with tax base.
Infrastructure.
But also, construction and renovation projects that were going to have to be done one way or another, it probably would have had to have borrowed money to do it.
Sure.
Which we don't have to do, which saves money on the front end and the back end.
And public health services.
Public health services and
Owl Park Owl Park Clinic, and then an ambulance for the electrical work.
Yep.
Sure.
Meals on Wheels and.
All right. Anyone else? Okay, I think this is the 45th public meeting on the budget.
You've done
This
such a
year.
good job on this, Judge, and worked so hard, we want you to take an extra 15 minutes for lunch.
Okay. All right. They'll come see me till 1:15. All right. Well, if that is all, then it is 6:28, and this public hearing is adjourned.